Welcome back. This is What the Story Said with Dr. Pauline Baird. Wagwan, I come in, I sit down. Last time, Sister Gloria told us about Ozzy and Joylyn, the inside scoop. Love a village with two people with disabilities. She also told us about how she promised her mom on her deathbed to take care of her siblings who had disabilities. As a medical professional and as a sister, she did a phenomenal job. Today, she gives us the rest of the story in the full colors of being a Buxtonian and a villager. So you will get a little bit of the cadence of the village. You will get a little bit of the workings that surrounded this love story. Buckle up, listen, like, share, comment. Thank you.
I am so blessed in every way,
Yes, yes, yes.
I am so blessed in every way. Like
Mm-hmm.
at one time, let me interject a bit about this sway.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to a church, not Adventist,
Mm-hmm.
and this lady, the pastor, she said, Gloria, I see you're not paying tithes. And
Mm.
I said to her, no. I said, instead of paying tithes, I have two people who are close to me, a
Mm-hmm.
brother and a sister that I have to take care of in
Mm-hmm.
terms of providing them food, rice, flour, sugar, see where they live, whatever they need, soap, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from those two, I identified four families in the
Mm-hmm.
village
Mm-hmm.
that I can say that I would have had a little more than them and I
Yeah.
can offer.
Mm-hmm.
And these four families, what I would do is like when I come down from Omai, I would take the mother for the children,
Mm-hmm.
take them to either Clevy shop or thing and buy like basic food stuff.
Mm-hmm.
A gallon of rice, 2 pound of flour, 2 pound of sugar, bottle of oil, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and basic things.
Mm-hmm.
And then along with that, I would give them like a 500 or to go and buy fish
Mm-hmm.
or meat, whatever. So
Mm-hmm.
at least if it's a 2, 3 days, I know they're going to get
They,
food.
yes. Mm-hmm.
At Christmas time, our curtains that we take down that we may not use again, I
Mm-hmm.
gave like two of them. They put on the, even though it was board window, they put
Mm-hmm.
the window curtain Christmas time
Mm-hmm.
and they can open up.
Make
I
them
ensure I
happy.
bake black cake and you get a half pan, you get a half pan. You so at least they can bake the cake, but they get the
Mm-hmm.
black cake. So I said, I think doing that, giving
Mm-hmm.
back and giving what the Lord ordained me to do, I
Mm-hmm.
think I am blessed there using up my tithes doing that.
Yeah.
But she wasn't too happy about that.
Yeah, look at
But
she and her boxing people.
but I never bothered with her. But
Yeah.
I am always and up to now, I
Mm-hmm.
am always to lend a helping hand.
Thank you so
And I
much.
think as a result of that, I can say I am always blessed. Since I came into this country, there was never a time I was out of a job and wondering, where is my next job? Oh my, I don't have a job. How I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to pay my bills? Nothing like that. I have never been
Mm-hmm.
into that situation. Never. I leave one job, go to another one, call me, or two or three others call.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
mm-hmm,
You know what? I like what you said. You're never out of a job. You never say you're never out of food or, things like that. Because some people might think I did good in the world. Thing must just drop in my lap. But here is this work ethic again. You never out of a job, so you can earn for yourself. You can
mm-hmm,
provide for yourself and others. I like that. I like that
mm-hmm,
trajectory. So back to the Ozzy and Jylin story. So they got
mm-hmm,
first baby, and then they
mm-hmm.
raised him themselves. They fed him. They take care.
Well,
What what went into that?
with the help of my mother, you
Mm-hmm.
know, but okay, they were not under her care because they were living by themselves,
So,
you know,
mm-hmm,
and they were taking care of the babies. So
mm-hmm,
after that first boy, then she got another boy very
mm-hmm,
shortly after,
mm-hmm,
right? Then it was another girl, right? And she started getting the children very quickly after
mm-hmm,
each other, right?
mm-hmm.
Because at one time she had like two babies. Because I remember
Wow.
one time one had to go into the for surgical there, and he was noted malnourished, right?
Oh,
He
mm-hmm,
didn't get, his right food or whatever to keep him well
mm-hmm.
nourished. So he had a diarrhea and a vomiting, and
She
that
lost
throwed him
him.
off and he died. So she was getting these babies so often, and then a set of them died. I think it's in all like about four of them died. Yeah,
Mm-hmm,
four. And she had one of the boys between the two that she has there now. I took that one
mm-hmm,
personally as a son.
mm-hmm,
So he came to live with me, with my children, and they
mm-hmm,
accepted him as another brother. They
mm-hmm.
wear each other clothes. They do whatever. If he see the cousin Marlon with my son with a
Mm-hmm,
t-shirt and he like the t-shirt, even if
mm-hmm.
he got to teeth it off the line, he can teeth it off the line because he leave upstairs with one thing and he come downstairs and you see that thing on the line, he
You
put
take
it
the
on and he
one.
gone.
So he and Marlon didn't
So
fight for the
even
clothes?
well, sometimes they used to fight, but I always try to strive
Yes. Mm-hmm,
with them. You live in
mm-hmm.
love. Y'all are brothers and sisters. Y'all eligible to wear each other clothes,
Clothes.
right?
Mm-hmm,
It's not nothing personal.
mm-hmm.
So, like when he died by accident riding a bicycle. He was
Okay.
19 at the time, going
Mm-hmm.
to BV to meet some girlfriend,
Oh boy.
and the girl that was living BV going to BV, and he got knocked down. He and a friend. As a matter of
Oh,
fact, the lady, the boy's mother, said, my son had no shoes, and is
wow.
your son, which is my nephew, gave
Mm-hmm.
him one of his shoes
Sure. Mm-hmm.
to wear to go with him
Oh boy.
on the
Mm-hmm.
bicycle. So both
Mm-hmm.
of them got knocked down on the road, and my nephew died on the spot.
Oh
So,
gosh, I'm so sorry to hear.
mm-hmm,
Wow.
mm-hmm. Yes, because he had
Mm-mm-mm.
severe head injuries. So,
Mm-hmm. So
mm-hmm.
you said Joylyn got all these kids. Were there any times when you had to intervene? Because obviously she doesn't practice family planning, she doesn't understand
Right.
that kind
She,
of
well,
thing.
no, she would,
And Ozzy
she,
too.
and you couldn't get, I mean, the ordinary man couldn't get over to her about
Mm-hmm.
family planning.
Mm-hmm.
So, what I had to do when it came to a point that no, she has to stop now.
Mm-hmm.
So, I decided that she has to stop. So, after the last girl that is still alive, she's there.
Mm-hmm.
After that girl, I personally spoke with a doctor friend, and I told him about my sister, and
Mm-hmm.
he said, okay, he's gonna do the TL.
Mm-hmm.
I said, but she got this dyslexia, and she really wouldn't understand what, and she might,
Mm-hmm.
give a fight in terms of like, and she did put up a fight when they went to do her finger stick to take off the blood to do blood
Mm-hmm.
test before the surgery.
Mm-hmm.
And she was fighting with the lap guy when they called me. I went there and she fighting with me too. I couldn't get her to thing, but the doctor came down himself
Mm-hmm.
and she allowed the guy then to take off the blood,
Right.
and she had the blood test done. She had the successful surgery, tubal
Mm-hmm.
ligation, and they tied the tubes, and that was it. So that was the last baby she had. Mhm.
So, Gloria, people hearing this, there are people who will say it's her right to her body. How dare you people make her get tubal ligation? What would you say to that? Because you know it's a
Well,
politically
in
correct world we
her
live in today.
situation, she was not. She, because of her learning disability, she would not have been cognizant of the fact of all the things that were negative in her
Mm-hmm.
life in terms of just bringing the children forth for them to die. You know,
Right. Mm-hmm.
it wasn't wise.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So there had to be someone who had to be for her to make that decision that it
Mm-hmm.
was time she finished with this. She would
Mm-hmm.
have had enough debts in her family,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah.
just put a stop to it. And she already had, well, she had three alive at the time, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it was the one who was living with me, and the two, the big boy, and then this last girl. So
Yeah.
eventually she only had the two of them to cater for because the other one came to live with me.
I see. Mm-hmm.
So I had to make that intervention and that decision,
Mm-hmm.
for her.
Not only as a medical person, not only as a sister, but a person with a medical background,
Exactly,
because she
exactly.
would have been running her body down, having baby upon baby. So she will
Mm-hmm,
have a baby in the arm and she pregnant at the same time.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Wow. Hmm.
mm-hmm.
So, so they lived together the whole time until Joylyn passed.
Actually, no, they separated after.
Yeah?
So yeah, they separated after.
Hold on, hold on.
And she was living by herself at the house at the back there, and he had living was living he's still there in a small house. I think it belonged to his family, a family
Hmm.
house at Birch Dam. So he's there, and his big son is there with him.
Okay.
Eh? So they moved on. Probably the big love that they had just went its own way. And then that after the separation, she started with she had some friends that she would go out with, and she go and she apart from drinking, she was smoking too. Hmm?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so she got into that because even what I used to tell her, that I give you my money only to buy food or do
Hmm.
whatever you have to do in terms of food or for your living. I do not smoke. I've never smoked a cigarette, and
Hmm.
I do not want you to use my money to buy a
Hmm.
cigarette. So I always used to ensure I tell her that do
Hmm.
not take my money to send it ever to buy a cigarette. So
Hmm.
she got in there, and you try to my best to wean her off from that cigarette, but
Hmm.
she got
Wow.
into that habit, and she was so addicted to it, and that was it.
Wow. So
Mm-hmm.
this vulnerability, and she had friends, like you said, so people in the community. I never saw her with friends, but I'm happy to know she had a full life.
Yes,
Yes,
yeah,
she had to party days and everything.
yeah, she eventually had meet up with friends who she had in the village there. They're all drunkies and smokies,
Oh gosh.
and and she gone out with them and the drink and the smoke.
Wow. Joylyn, live it up. I didn't know this part of it. I just admire them as a
Yes.
couple. So when she went off and they
Mm-hmm.
broke up, they remained separate until she passed, or they
Until
got
she
back
passed.
together.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. Until she
Did
passed.
he
Mm-hmm.
move on with anybody else?
I understand he used to get people we would, would go in
Okay.
and,
Well,
have
we're
fun
not
and
going into
just
that.
pass on, but not about anybody to live with per se.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
mm-hmm,
So love in the village
mm-hmm.
is like every other place. And even among the people who have special needs, there is love, and there's separation, there's breakups and so on. So,
Yeah,
huh,
just like the normal, adults that we
yeah.
can say, you
Hmm.
meet and you fall in love, and for whatever reason, you fall out of love,
Of love.
so you decide to separate.
Yes, yes. And even the able-bodied or the able people go through these things, much more the people who have disabilities. Thank you so much,
Mm-hmm,
Gloria. Is there anything else we should talk about that we haven't touched on this topic? Because
mm-hmm.
this is a Valentine month, people focus on love. And I wanted to look, like I say, I look at my village in a familiar way. And then I look at my village in a strange way and say, what else can I talk about? What else can I bring to the light, or what else do I see? These untold stories, what I call the whispered stories. And then that is indeed a big whisper because I didn't know all of those things. Yeah. Yeah. So is there anything
Um,
else?
one of the
Mm-hmm.
one of the things I would say about the village is that we were people at that time, I must say, because I think it's a different time now,
Mm-hmm.
where, we used to look out for each other.
Mm-hmm.
People, you call it live good among each other, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because at one time with one key in the for our house, my mother would leave it with the neighbor. So
Mm-hmm.
whoever comes home first, they got to go over to the neighbor and to collect the key to go into the house. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you didn't have fear that the neighbor is going to use that key to go into your house and thief anything or so. So it was a camaraderie with villagers per se.
Yes.
Something like in the village, and
Mm-hmm.
every man Jack come out.
Mm-hmm.
Because I remember one time down Buxton, Bagdam side, this girl and this guy, whoever she had a relationship with, he's a stranger,
Mm-hmm.
and he probably didn't hear about Buxton, and
Oh.
he didn't know that what would have been in store for him. So he's gonna decide that whatever was the misunderstanding, he's gonna beat her up there. And by the time she starts screaming, man, is every man Jack from way up at the line out message me.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody come out.
You know what you don't hear with the Sanko who licky love up on the dam? All we hear she
Mm-hmm.
holla. But do you not hear if in a box and is she holla? She not
Since
only
she
she wanna
holler,
holla,
yes, so
he gonna be hollering
everybody
too.
would have been out there ready to
Mm-hmm.
protect,
Oh
stand to
yes.
protect.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
So that is
So
Buxton for you.
I would consider that we live with love, you know,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
in that village and at that time. I
Mm-hmm.
am not too as to what is really going on there now, but
Mm-hmm.
in my times I know that, you know, there was
Mm-hmm.
that village love wherein that
Yes.
everybody who knows
Mm-hmm.
everybody's story,
Right.
and
Mm-hmm.
they would look out for each other. Mhm.
Yes. So thank you so much for this story. You brought so much light to what's occurred and in the lives of people whom we don't really look at to see how they fare and to see the humanity in them. But I really do appreciate the story that a person or persons with disabilities can find love and live so-called normal lives. That's why I wanted to ask you as a family member because I don't know much about them. And for us to bring the story to light. In the month of love, I want the viewers to take a good look at your society and your surroundings. Is there anyone that needs help? Are there people who are in love and people are preventing them from this love because they think that they're not able? We have to rethink that. We really do have to rethink that. In America and in the developed countries, I know that there are people who help disabled people to find love. They're just as needy as normal people to find love. Even they can't take care of themselves. They have facilities that can take care of them and facilitate that basic human need. Yeah. Sometimes people would take people who have disabilities of whatever kind and lock them away or think of them as other. Some of them can't even see the light of day, much more see another person of another gender to make acquaintance and so on. So this brings a whole avenue of discussion to the fore when it comes to love. So with that, we are going to end today's show and thank you for watching. Thank you so much, Gloria, for bringing this story to us.
All right, thank you too.
Yeah, and we are done. It's a wrap. And everybody,
All
walk
right,
good.
thank you.
Yeah.